boy guys, is Beast, back with some more beastly content. Today we're going to be doing a build guide over my build over the critical pulse. So this is a Lunar Oracle build, so just so you know, this build is meant to be used in Oracle. That is why we are using the gear we are using. Let's go ahead and talk about the gear. We're using a 4 set of the Treacherous Tides helmet. Once again, this is only a tier 3 build, so that video you just seen, that was tier 3 gear. Even the gun's tier 3. So this is all just tier 3, so just keep that in mind. And those were stock arrows we were using. But 4 set of the Treacherous Tides, a 1 set of the Shelter Top, and then a Overload Pants. After triggering Powersurge 20 times, the next 6 shots will consume reserve ammo. Instead, shock damage plus 20, cooldown 4 seconds. Triggering Powersurge during the cooldown does not count towards this effect. So, during the cooldown of 4 seconds, it doesn't count. That sucks. But I have the solution to this. So this is pretty much the infinite shots build here. You're gonna still be getting reloads, but we're using a mod that needs us to reload, so that's why I'm fine with having some reloads. I'm gonna talk about the mods on the armor, but there's a couple different mods that you may want to test out yourself. Not just the mods I'm gonna be using in today's video, because this is a Lunar Oracle build. We're going to talk about the Lunar Oracle mods as well. We're going to talk about how maybe you could make the build better yourself as you play more Oracle and unlock more Oracle mods. You're going to have to unlock more Lunar mods. I don't currently have them, so y'all can deal with it. So, the critical post, the weapon, or pulse, the weapon features of this are triggers continuous power surge on hit with a 70% chance to generate deviated particles near the player. Pick them up to enter a charged state. Continuous power surge can trigger every 0.5 seconds. Within 3 seconds on the current stage. Higher stacks shorten the interval, minimum of 0.26 seconds. So you're gonna want to be picking up, and let's make sure like that's the whole description, because the game's just really not wanting to show me the whole description there. So here we go. While in a charged state, hitting a target consumes 1 charge to create an orb of lightning, dealing shock elemental status damage of 75% PSI intensity to targets within 5 meters every 0.5 seconds. This damage benefits from power surge damage bonuses and has a 5% chance to generate deviated particles lasting for 3 seconds, dealing 50% damage to the player. Shock elemental damage bonus plus 30. So like I said, this is a PvE Lunar Oracle build that we are going to be showcasing here. We're going to go ahead and look at the mod I use. This is the mod I recommend for this gun. So when triggering Power Surge, apply the Power Surge status to 1 enemies within 10 meters of the target. Prioritize enemies that are not affected by Power Surge status. So what this allows you to do is get those 20 Power Surge hits really easy. This will help out a ton. If there's a horde of enemies, there's a good chance you're not gonna have to reload for a minute. You're gonna want to try and get 3 reloads off every, I think it's like every 12 seconds, and you'll get like a boost from our other mods. But let's take a look at our other mods. We're going to talk about each one individually. So first of all, the helmet mod. So I recommend Elemental Havoc if you got it. If you just have Deviation Expert, status damage and elemental damage both will boost a Power Surge build. Then for the attribute effects, you're going to want to be aiming for either elemental or Power Surge or status damage bonuses. I also have damage against great ones plus 2.4. I can't get all the good rolls, but we got as many as we can here. And this is a Lunar one. The reason why I don't like Deviation Expert as much as elemental damage is because you lose 25% range. That's why I don't use Deviation Expert. It is a usable one. We do have an elemental version of this. I could show you like side by side why I don't want to use that. But yeah, I do believe that's it for the helmet. We're going to go on to the mask now. We use Thunderclap. This is pretty much going to be everybody's go-to. I don't think anyone's going to argue with using Thunderclap. You're aiming for, once again, either Power Surge damage or, elemental damage. And as you can see here, we actually got Power Surge and Shock on our attribute effects. Oh yeah, so I do have a guide below like on mods and like the attribute effects and everything if you don't quite understand that, but just do know the core mod you need is Thunderclap, and I got a Power Surge variant of it, so I got the very good Thunderclap mod, guys. Then we're using Ardent Shield. This is a new one. Now, if you didn't do what I did, in previous video I told you go to the pro silos for the chest and the boots mods, stack up those pro chests and save them till the patch. that's what I did. I unlocked this mod the instant I started last season, or the instant I was like leaving last season. I ran out of energy links and I wanted to get the Lunar Oracle, so it's only 4 out of 5. But that is okay. Weak spot damage plus 3.6 and damage against great ones. I want an Ardent Shield with elemental damage or status damage or Power Surge / even shock. Now we do have this one. This one just boosts your crit rate though. We also have this one. This one will give you higher weapon damage and crit damage. So I think I'm going to play with the Ardent Shield Lunar one because once again, these Lunar mods do get pretty crazy during Lunar Oracle. I do think the Lunar mods are definitely worth using, but Ardent Shield's definitely the base one you want to be using here. Some people might recommend you to use like Enduring Shield or something, and as you can see, we have a Lunar one as well. The lower your HP, the higher your damage reduction against deviations, up to plus 24%. This could help you as well. So Enduring Shield could work if you get maybe a Lunar variant, but I have found way better luck personally using the Ardent Shield. So another thing you might use is status damage, just because it does have like a lower HP effect thing. But once again, the mod I'm recommending here is Ardent Shield all the way. I think it's great. I think it's OP. So on to the pants now. We're using Abnormal Increase. Now, I want to look for like another pants mod, honestly, but this is Abnormal Increase, and we have the Resonance version of it. We're still not getting any sort of boost there, except for, you know, the extra Power Surge damage. Bullet Siphon, once again, that is not helping us either. So really the best one I'm saying, and wait, hold up. After killing an enemy, refill 2 bullets from the reserve. Ooh, we should be using that. So we're gonna try this. I didn't want to change up builds in the middle of this. Crit damage or magazine capacity versus... So I don't really have anything there, so we'll go with this. Reload Rampage. After killing an enemy, refill 2 bullets from reserves, no more than 50% of the magazine capacity. Weapon damage and status damage 10%. So I don't know if this is actually going to work at all, because 50% of 1 bullet would be half. So we're going to probably just switch back to Abnormal Increase. If y'all do want to test out Reload Rampage and see if it is working for the bow and actually giving an arrow back, you can. However, I have another mod that's actually reloading us, and the pants is going to give us a 6-shot very frequently with this build. So the next one I'm using is Elemental Overload. This one's just pure elemental damage boost, and you can even get like attribute effects that will boost elemental damage once again. Thinking you can get more than one attribute that's going to boost elemental damage. However, I have one boosting elemental damage. We got a magazine capacity increase, damage against normal ones plus 6%. Once again, Oracle enemies probably going to count under normal enemy status, unless they're like very specifically under Lunar, which would be very strange. I'm thinking they count as normal. The last one I use is on the shoes, and this is another one of those where we're going to cover a couple different mods, but we're using Ruthless Reaper in this build. After getting 2 kills, refill 100% of your magazine from your reserves. You know this thing chain lightnings and chain kills enemies? You're going to be getting that refill a lot, so you're very rarely actually going to be reloading. Probably about 3 times, you know, every few seconds, which is just perfect for that mod we're using. But we're going to go ahead and take a look at Rush Hour. This is another one that is specifically for Lunar Oracle. I do have an elemental damage one. I was using this. However, I found the Ruthless Reaper reloads being very, very helpful. Another thing is weapon and status damage plus 10%. Stamina loss grants an additional damage boost up to 20%. So this is a pure status damage boost right here. You can get a pure status damage boost here. 10%. Stamina loss grants an additional damage of 20%. If you do get this mod, this could be very well good for Lunar Oracle, but once again, Ruthless Reaper is going to help us out with not having to reload very much, and I really like that for Lunar Oracle. As you can see, this is a very good build. I did just show it to you. The only other thing we have to cover now is the Cradle Override. I covered the weapon mod. I covered the armor mods. On to the Cradle Overrides. We're using Deviant Energy Defense. We're using Chaotic Thoughts. We're using Elemental Sense, we're using Status Enhancement, Tactical Combo, Rapid Aid, Transient Impact, Energy Surge, and that is that. Those are the Cradle Overrides, and that is that for this. So I guess the only thing I really have left to do, now that I've explained this, is just like one more little run of this. I've kind of wanted to test it out against like something I can actually, you know, show the damage. One thing really crazy to do it on is the dungeon, but I'm trying to wait till I have the tier 5 gear to show it on the dungeon. I want to do this as a 6-star build. Once again, we only have this thing at 4 stars, and now we're using what is copper ammunition. But we're still not using anything crazy. We're not even using these steel arrows or anything, and earlier you even seen me, we were literally using the stock arrows, and all we have is tier 3 gear, and this build is able to handle any level 50 Oracle enemy, no problem. But I think that's about it for this. I am going to just leave you with, like, you know, maybe 1 or 2 more rounds of this, just in, you know, with the nice music and everything. But I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. Hopefully you found this video helpful. One final other thing, I always forget to do this too. The deviation I have synced is Snapshot. Snapshot is a deviation that basically just like increases your weapon damage here. I'll show you what he does. So if you use manual photograph mode, it's how you want to use him. And when you aim down sights, he's going to get like this little charge menu underneath himself. And he's going to allow you to do even more damage. But I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. Leave a like on the video if you did enjoy it. And keep it beast mode.